Oh, hold on 1 second. No, ain't no. I gave you enough. I gave you enough pictures. Like yesterday, you tweeted about you Oh, hold on 1 second. No, ain't no. I gave you enough. I gave you enough pictures. Like yesterday, you tweeted about you Oh, hold on 1 second. No, ain't no.
I was on Twitter. People need to know the real narrative and the facts. Number one, Roland Martin is the aggressor here. He came after me publicly. He was paid to do so. I was on Twitter talking about how we need to be critical of these campaigns and make sure that we get policies so that when whoever become president, they don't forget about us. Roland Martin called me stupid, dumb, an idiot, and a fool on his show. I never tweeted at Roland Martin. I never talked about Roland Martin at all. He came to my Twitter page, quoting my tweets to call me stupid. And then he did a show about me and he called me a fool. Now, what I did was I went to an event that he was at today and I went to ask for a conversation. My arms was folded. I was not being aggressive. And he kept pushing it off, kept trying to leave and not have a conversation with me. And you saw what happened on this video. This, guys, we cannot stand for. We cannot stand for voices to continue to be stumped on because they don't agree with you. I don't have to agree with Roland Martin to be smart. I can have my own views. I'm a grown man. And there's no reason why this man twice his age should be publicly calling me stupid, dumb, and a fool. But when I approach him in public, he has nothing to say to me. You got to do better. And we got to do better to stop supporting these guys who are disrespecting the voices who are doing the actual work.
A proud transgender American. Four years ago, I came out as transgender while serving as student body president in college. At the time, I was scared. I worried that my dreams and my identity were mutually exclusive. Since then, though, I've seen that change is possible. I witnessed history interning at the White House and helping my home state of Delaware pass protections for transgender people. Today, I see this change in the work of the LGBT caucus and in my own job at the Human Rights Campaign. But despite our progress, so much work remains. Will we be a nation where there's only one way to love, only one way to look, and only one way to live? Or will we be a nation where everyone has the freedom to live openly and equally? A nation that's stronger together. That is the question in this election. For me, this struggle for equality became all the more urgent when I learned that my future husband, Andrew, was battling cancer. I met Andy, who was a transgender man fighting for equality, and we fell in love. And yet, even in the face of his terminal illness, this 28-year-old, he never wavered in his commitment to our cause and his belief that this country can change. Andy and I married in 2014. And just 4 days after our wedding, he passed away. Knowing Andy left me profoundly changed. But more than anything else, his passing taught me that every day matters when it comes to building a world where every person can live their life to the fullest. Hillary Clinton understands the urgency of our fight. She'll work with us to pass the Equality Act, to combat violence against transgender women of color, and to end the HIV and AIDS epidemic once and for all. Today in America, LGBTQ people are still targeted by hate that lives in both laws and in hearts. Many still struggle just to get by. But I believe that tomorrow can be different. Tomorrow we can be respected and protected, especially if Hillary Clinton is our president. And that's why I'm proud to stand here and say that I'm with her. Thank you all very much.
No matter their race, no matter their creed, their gender or family, deserve better than Donald Trump's American carnage. So, are you ready to make sure Donald Trump never, ever gets near the White House again? So let's elect Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, and a Democratic majority in the Senate and keep the torch of freedom burning bright for generations to come. On to victory in November.
Whoever you are, wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today. But if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.
Well, always can't get this damn thing right. If you can hear me, leave something in the chat. Give a thumbs up in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Smash up the likes. Smash up the likes. Smash up the likes. We are live. We are live. And I'm coming at you with 5. If you're watching me via Rumble on Random Topics or on X or on YouTube, or as we are back on Facebook, welcome, welcome, welcome to another exciting edition of Random Topic Tuesdays, the hottest live stream in the cosmos of YouTube, on Facebook, and social media in general, on Rumble, ladies and gentlemen. And I see we got to bring a guest on in a minute because we're going to be talking about some stuff, guys. Of course, the main thing has been, we say random topics, but all of this stuff, everything basically boils down to really one thing, and that is the Democratic National Convention. And I played some clips. The first clip I played, of course, it looks like that was earlier, but I was told, and I watched, and it doesn't surprise me, but I watched some of the DNC, and that was, I'm listening to also Dana with the Data, because she invited me to her program. She called it a Chitlin Circuit, the DNC 2024 Chicago Chitlin Circuit. I call it Shillamania. shilling because they got the Democratic shills out all over. Now, some people have asked me, y'all know I'm talking about this because I've gotten complaints about why I'm not going hard on the Republicans. You guys already know the answer to that. And that is the Republicans, the white boys that have been white boying. We know particularly where they stand in their position. And by now, if you have not known, if you have not been paying attention as a Black American, you should know where the Democrats stand with your vote, with you. And they certainly want to entice you to their party and to them, but they certainly do not stand to do anything of substance with you. And one of my brothers, we're going to bring in, we played Rollie Pollie, getting chased down by this brother, Jamal. Rollie was like a head. Rollie was like a deer in headlights. And I'm here for it. This is gonna be my new profile pic on X, ladies and gentlemen. I got it right here. Hold on. Oh God, he came. I called him stuck on stupid. Shouldn't have done that. And let me just go ahead and bring this brother. Y'all haven't seen him in a long time, but I'm grateful. He was supposed to be here Thursday, but he, something came up. He apologized. I said, it's no problem, brother, because I love to have him come back on. This brother's also an author. I'm going to ask, I've had him come on the show before. Brother Rico, the opinionist. I said opportunist. About to slip. Rico, the opinionist.
What's up? Hey, Gavin. Thank you so much for having me on. I guess the second time I've been on. It's been a minute since last time.
It's been a couple of years, actually.
Yeah.
I think it's been a few years there, but it's good to have you come on because I know they Facebook shadow banned and banned you at one point when you go live.
Yeah.
On your channel. Tell everybody briefly, though, about your book. It's still available.
Oh, dang it. Hold on a second. Wait a minute.
I put you on the spot.
Yeah, hold on. Dang it.
Gotta be ready.
Wait a minute.
I should have the Jeopardy theme up in here.
All right. So basically, it's I call it a short story. It actually comes from an actual a manuscript that I wrote back in 96, 97. It was supposed to be a journal it turned into 135 pages of me journaling. It was during the years I was going through clinical depression, and I took notes from my own graduate program at Grambling State University, the MSW program. Right. They said, hey, you can journal your feelings. And what happened was this particular chapter about my dad, I know a chapter is not supposed to be 50 pages. So I ended up I took this chapter out and I called it, gave it a title because it took up a lot of pages. And basically, I just lifted it up from the manuscript I wrote years ago. It turned out to be like 50 pages. It's called The Greatest Pain Ever Felt. Conversation with my absent biological father who never wanted to be found. And it's in a PDF format. And I can email it to you. It's only $10. You get that Cash App is up there, $ Rico the Opinionist. And please send me an email address. And basically what that book is about is the first time I found out by accident who my actual biological father was. Okay. And the whole up and down emotional roller coaster I went through. So that's basically what that is about. And that's
a lot, man. Writing a book is not easy. I've written 2 of them. I am actually got to be working on a 3rd one soon. So I'm trying to do that, which means I might have to take time away from doing some other stuff that I love. But I'm real proud of this brother, and I value his opinion, even though he's a Grambling Tiger and I'm a Southern Jaguar.
Right on. Right on.
The Bayou Classic.
Yeah. You don't want this.
That ass again.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we're kind of falling off a little bit, but I think we go to the Bayou Classic now strictly for fun. Damn the competition.
So you go there. Yeah, same here. So you went last year?
No, I haven't been in so long. It's shameful to say how long it's been. But I still root for both teams because we'll always be brother and sister teams, universities. And, but I haven't been in so long. And this particular reason why, but
right. Bayou Classic, it's fun, it's traditional, even though we rivals and so forth. in many ways. The Bayou Classic is good for the HBCUs, and even though and let me just say this: the stuff with the HBCUs, they have our support, but there's a lot of stuff, of course, that needs to be fixed within those organizations, within schools, and what we've seen, especially with this, what they call, I'm just not gonna mince words. A lot of people calling out the boule or the
Divine Nine.
The Divine Nine with stuff. Now, I never pledged. I don't know if you ever did. No, I know a lot.
I attempted to, but realized I didn't have any money. This is in 1989. I didn't have any money, man.
In 2012, to pledge grad chapter was like $3,500 about a mortgage, and you're also talking about paying annual dues.
Oh yeah, that's
Sigma Pi Phi to the boule. Yeah,
Sigma Phi Pi. Is that right? Sigma Pi Phi. Yes.
Yeah, Sigma Pi Phi. Now, this is not me knocking anybody in the frat, because I have family members. I have most. It's hard to not find a black attorney that hasn't pledged an Alpha or Omega, a female attorney that hasn't pledged a Cap, is an AKA the ski-wee. Everybody thinks Kamala's going to ski-wee out of a World War III.
No, she's skiing right on into it.
Kamala, or Delta, the Deltas did all of that. I used to get tired of them. I'll be honest with you. I didn't want to, especially coming from St. Aug. I already got my ass whipped. I wasn't going to get hazed again and pay somebody to do it. That wasn't my thing. I went to St. Augustine, which had the Board of Discipline. St. Aug is like a fraternity.
Okay.
But you had people. Yeah, they were. When I was on Southern's campus, I used to see these guys. I used to get tired of them, because we be in the club dancing on a girl, and all of a sudden they play some music and they start to
scrolling. Yeah. How did they find the room? Yeah, how did they find the room?
I'm like, you messing up my jizz, man. Damn.
Yeah, but and we have to, because I was in school in the 90s when the Heart of Cosby show and Different World and fraternities and sororities, they are a part of the university. It wouldn't be a university without the so-called Divine Nine of Greek life. But I'll say this: if they can just stick to throwing parties and being social clubs like they say they are, they'll be just fine. But the thing is, when I was in school at my beloved Grambling State University, I lived to go to their parties.
Yeah, they used to sponsor a lot of good parties.
Yeah, they did. And the Kappas, they're through. You had to have on a jacket. The Alphas, you had to have on nice clothes. The Qs, you come in as you are. And in Grambling, we had this little joint called the Renaissance up the way from the campus. Just a little juke junk size, but it'd be like 300 18 to 22-year-olds up in there, and about 200 more in the parking lot. And it was a Friday or it was a Saturday night. And the Qs and the Deltas found some way to still stroll up and down. It's just part of the culture. But what I don't like is today they promote the HBCUs as if Greek life is all the HBCUs is about. And I don't like that. I can't knock them for pushing their brand. But when I went there, and I'm sure you went there, but definitely in the 90s, the HBCU experience there was Greek life there. It was also conscious or African centered, or they call them pro-Black students. It was people from all over the country at these HBCUs. The culture was really a gumbo of everybody bringing where they came from to the table on the campus. We had people from Africa. We had Trinidad, Tobago. We had people. For me, going to the HBCU, that was my diversity. Meeting Black folks from Denver, meeting Black folks from Baton Rouge, meeting Black folks from all 5 boroughs of New York, and house music. I was introduced to Chicago house, Detroit house, New York house. That to me was diversity. And the fraternities and sororities, they were there for the social scene, even though they were given titles of leaders. They weren't the leaders on our campus. The Black conscious students were, because we're the ones who challenged the administration, not the Black Greeks. But they were always given the title of leaders.
Right.
We were there. Yeah, but go ahead.
When I was at Southern, the Greek life, that was in 2005 to 2008. And even when I went to law school from 2011 to 2014 on Southern's campus, the HBCUs, the Greeks are the ones who basically, especially the frats, were the ones in the leadership positions already. So it was about basically, I'm thinking how I'm going to survive day to day. That was my thinking, coming from New Orleans after Katrina.
Yeah.
I had family up there in Baton Rouge I was close with. Getting exposed to that, but also what girls I could get. That was my thing.
Yeah, it's part of the experience. Yeah.
Yeah, and getting up for school on time. Can I make it to the class on time without getting written up? Those were stuff I was thinking of. I didn't think of, but most people pledge, and they do that because they're trying to build relationships, outside when they want to become professionals. Because if you say you're an Omega or Alpha and you're applying for a job in the future, you might have an Omega as a manager. You might have them in an operating position, and they'll look out for you. So that's why a lot of people do that. But there's also a connotation with some people who believe that a lot of the organizations, or at least members, they're clicked in with the top Democratic leaders, and they look out for themselves, but not the other people. They look down. Also, that's a perception people have. Now, I can't say, because I know a lot of people in the Greek fraternities, some who I'm very cool with. Some who are like family. Some people I consider very close. But I have met some uppity Negroes, let's just say, in personality. And one uppity one, I love Judge Joe Brown. He's an alpha, but his frat brother, and y'all know I tease him about this all the time, is none other than Boule Bird Rollie. You damn fool.
Yeah, idiot. Everybody's stupid.
You stuck on stupid Simons. That's all, folks.
Yeah.
So Roland decided to insult a young brother by the name of Jamal Bryant. Yeah. Jamal Green, excuse me.
Jamal Green, yeah.
Jamal Green, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, shucks.
Jamal Green is an activist out in Chicago, and he ran for mayor of Chicago. I think a couple of years ago, the race with Brandon Johnson and Lori Lightfoot and others. Now, he didn't win, and I think he ran, if I'm not mistaken, as an independent.
Right.
But nevertheless, this brother has been, I've just learned about him from this incident. He's been standing on business. He actually challenged, and I have this video from here. He challenged Chase Bank, about money, and got them to drop $1 billion. So, this is the video.
He here with us. Jamal is right here with us, y'all.
Green says the Chase owes billions of dollars in reparations to the Black community. He says some of that money dates back to slave time.
That is insane. This is a banking institution that is the biggest banking institution in America, with a market cap of $1 trillion, and they can't even invest in Black and brown communities, and even neighborhoods.
I gotta talk through it fair use, but I don't want to play all of it. Maybe I could just play that because they got the music playing, and I don't want to get a copyright strike. But if you go to this video, he talked about how he got Chase Bank to promise $600 million in home loans for the next 5 years. There's some other stuff he listed. Basically, because Chase, I think, is one of the biggest banking institutions in the world. They, of course, financed and had a role in in slavery here in the United States. They were part of that, as well as Wells Fargo, if I'm not mistaken, and a few others. But shout out to him. So he did that. Now, instead of applauding a brother who's actually putting in the work in Chicago, where Rollie Martin is from. Rollie Martin was a news anchor out there, I think, for WGN, a reporter at one time, from what Harvey told me. But Roland decided, and I won't play his video, but you all can go find it. He called this man an idiot and stupid because he was talking about how black people shouldn't just give their votes to white Americans, to the Democrats.
Right.
So this is a clip. I'll just play Roland, you know what? I'm gonna play this video. This is from,
He said,
I don't know who this brother is.
"We just gotta watch what you say." And so,
but he's defended Jamal Green. So Roland called him dumb.
Yes.
If black folks have the lowest dumb, let me read in voice. Are you that damn dumb, Jamal Green? If black folks have the lowest home ownership rates, that means incentives for first-time buyers will appeal to black folks. Are you that clueless? Because the brother asks, does anybody want to tell me what first generation is code for? Laugh out loud. Pay attention to the cryptic words being used to show us what agenda is their agenda. Yet you literally have black folks acting like the Democrats will prioritize you when you have the lowest home ownership. So let's just play this video.
after that, Roland Martin decides to do an entire segment.
Now that's Michael in the middle. I don't know who those two at the right are, but I think that's Michael Imhotep.
Yeah.
And Michael Imhotep, I used to follow this brother, but he's gone full-blown blue.
Mm-hmm.
Blue no matter who. And y'all know what I'm talking about.
On his show about Jamal Green, and let's just play a little bit of that video. So
Fair use, by the way, Rollie Pollie.
Matt, here was this fool Jamal Green. Go to my iPad. This fool tweeted, does anybody want to tell me what first generation is code for? LOL. Dumbass is first generation. Pay attention to the cryptic words being used to show us what agenda is their agenda. Yet you literally have black folks acting like the Democrats will prioritize you when you have the lowest home ownership rate in the country at 44% like stock. See, Matt, the reason I can't stand fools like this here, and I think this fool ran for mayor of Chicago or something, I don't know, but he's stupid. Here's what
he did run for mayor of Chicago, and shout out to him for doing that. Running for mayor of a large city is not an easy thing to do. And I thought that his campaign was, well, I didn't pay too much attention to his campaign. I remember he ran, but I remember he said some things that he wanted to do. That
I gotta say this. This is a 60-something-year-old man insulting a 30. I want to say he's in his 30s. Brother's in his 30s. I don't know how old he is, but a younger brother. Talking like a bitch. I'm just gonna say it. Roland Martin is straight up.
Yeah,
I've seen videos of him tooting his ass up.
Yeah, trying to teach her. Yeah.
And this ticks me off because you're a grown man in your 60s talking to another young brother like that. Instead of pulling him to the side, if you got an issue with him, why don't we sit down and talk man to man, face to face? He's not going to do that. He throws stones and then tries to hide his hands when he gets confronted.
In favor of. I think it's actually courageous when young people like him run for mayor. It takes so much work, paperwork. You got to get signatures. I just think that's kind of lame to go after somebody and say, "Oh, this fool ran for mayor." Like, what's wrong with running for mayor? Like, I don't know. Let's keep going.
Here's why it's dumb. I remember 2008 having Alphonso Jackson, who was a HUD secretary.
All right, so I'm definitely not going to go into the entire rebuttal. I'm just covering the drama here. But yeah, so basically, Roland Martin did an entire segment. He's calling him names. He's calling him stupid. This guy's an idiot. He doesn't know anything. And Jamal Green took offense to that. I don't mind Jamal Green pulling up at the front of him because, unfortunately, with guys like this, they think they're higher than mighty. They think they're too good to meet up with you or confront you unless you have like this big name. And I would definitely say that Roland Martin has a bigger platform than Jamal Green. So the only way Jamal Green would ever be able to confront him is he would have no choice but to pull up on him. That's the only way. If he emails him or calls him or whatever, gets his number, whatever, he's just not going to respond. That's just how these guys roll. So I'm not mad at Jamal Green for saying, you know what, I don't appreciate what you said to me. I'm going to pull up to you in person and we're going to test the temperature. We're going to see what your energy is because again, he's a man and you're calling out another man. You're calling him out his name. You can't control how people respond. Again, I'm not for the violence. I'm not saying you should be violent, but if somebody wants to confront you on something you said about them in a church, not that huge of a deal to me.
Right. So he confronted him in the church. I'll play the video again. And this is another
Martin in a church. Just so you guys know, that is a church. He approaches Roland Martin. He's clearly trying to confront him. Now, he does not look aggressive to me. He looks aggressive as if he wants to talk because he has a bone to pick with him. But I can't imagine him taking the swing at Roland Martin in the church. Like if I was Roland Martin, I would be like, okay, let's talk. Like, I wouldn't really be worried in that environment. There's so many people around. Even if something happened, it's not like you're going to get beat up. People are going to break it up. Like I wouldn't be as afraid as Roland Martin appeared to be. But now let's go ahead and analyze the footage again. So I'm going to put on mute. we're just going to analyze it. So that's Jamal Green right there coming up to Rollie Martin. He's like, 1 second. So he clearly doesn't want to talk to him.
No,
And then
he
if you
doesn't wanna
really
talk
look at
to
just
him.
the body language and the gestures, Rollie Martin is clearly, you know, he don't want to be a part of that. He don't want to do with that. A black woman comes.
Here's the biggest thing. You got a woman coming in between two men.
Mm-hmm.
A man doesn't let a woman get in between himself and another man. You push her to the side. Now she came in on her own. People could argue that, but he could have said, "No, ma'am, I'm not going." He walks away from this. Is that a beta or is that an alpha?
He don't want nothing to do with that. A black woman comes and tries to break it up. You know, Jamal Green's clearly just trying to talk. I don't even really see Jamal Green raising his hands because you have people in the comments saying that, oh, Jamal Green was coming up there on some tough stuff trying to fight him. I'm just not really getting that vibe. I'm looking at him. He's got his hands crossed. Look, the guy has his hands crossed. He's not really bringing up his hands at all. He comes up there, his hands are crossed. He just doesn't seem like an actual aggressor to me. I guess it appears like he's getting a little bit aggressive, but he's really not. People are just touching him. So that's why, you know, it kind of looks the way it does. But yeah, very interesting. And so after that, somebody took a picture of Rollie Martin looking afraid. And then Jamal.
Oh, God. He came.
Green posted this picture and he said new profile pic, and it's a picture of Rollie Martin just looking scared. He's looking at Jamal Green like it's one of those Kia boys trying to take his car. He's looking at him like oh my God, like he just this is, you can't lie. This is pretty funny. This is a funny picture, and Rollie Martin definitely looks.
Yeah, Roland thought he was gonna get his chins knocked.
Mm-hmm.
But the brother, okay, but you see stuff like this. See, you talk all that game. That's why they say you're blowing wolf whistles. You talk all that stuff, and when you get confronted, now Roland has blocked me from his Twitter page. I consider that an honor. He's blocked a lot of people. Anybody that disagree with him, he blocks.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound. I don't even want to insult. Excuse me. I don't want to even insult females saying that's some girl stuff, because no, that's some other word. That's just a beta male.
Yeah,
that does that. But you have somebody calling him out, and that's another reason why most people don't tune in, especially younger people are not tuning into older black radio hosts, older black, national journalists. They're moving away from the Tom Joyner and Steve Harvey era. And I got to talk about Steve Harvey in a minute, but I'll let you give your thoughts about what happened with that, Rico.
Well, I saw was and by the way, I like to think that Rollie Martin finally is going to get the picture. This is not the first young man that he has talked crazy to.
Right.
By the way, Jamal Green is 29 years old, and Rollie Martin is my age. We're both 55 years old. Okay. I don't know, maybe it's lifestyle. I don't know what's going on, but I just Googled him. He's 55 years old, and Jamal Green is 29. And the thing with Rollie Martin, the arrogance and the ego of it all, it allows him or pushes him to be so blatantly disrespectful on his show. Now, even on my own Facebook page and YouTube, I say some stuff, but I'll let you know I keep that same energy in real life. But I'm not blatantly mean-spirited and demeaning and degrading when I talk about, even when I talk about any subject, or if I mention people. And even if I'm talking about the Divine Nine or talking about the Boule, it's not something that it cannot be worked out should someone decide to, quote, pull up. Because I've given them instructions on how they need to do if they pull up. I'm not talking about anything unless you hit that Cash App. Because it means you want to hold my time up in Kroger, Walmart, or the mall to express your grievance. Hit me with the $150 on the Cash App. I'll answer any questions, $50 for the follow-up. That's how I would handle it. I'll talk to you, but it won't be for free. And number two, Rollie Martin, remember he attacked this young brother by the name of
King Randall.
22 years old. And he mopped the floor with him on his show when he was talking about, first, it started on Twitter, just like this started on Twitter with Jamal Green. Rollie Martin went to Jamal Green's Twitter page when he was talking about, hey, we need to demand more from these Democratic politicians and others. And then he came over, called him an idiot or stupid on that. And then he did that separate show. And that is what really pissed Jamal Green off. And same thing with King Randall. It started on Twitter. He attacking King Randall and his friend, but I don't know who that friend was that was with King Randall. They were both supposed to appear. Matter of fact, it was the friend that was supposed to come on Rollie Martin and talk about voting and being a conservative. But the other guy kind of wimped out and left, and King Randall was the only one that appeared. And I hope Randall's not friends with whoever that dude was. I even tweeted that cat. I'm like, man, wasn't it supposed to be you up there? But you know how things worked out for the best. And Roland Martin was so busy trying to do two things: attack King Randall on allegedly, supposedly being a conservative. That was his own thing. So you're a conservative. Right. So
right.
Voting is not important. And voting said, no, voting is not what we're trying to do. That's not my issue. My issue are these black boys, these boys in Albany who can't read, they're homeless, and I'm out here doing the work. Roland Martin didn't want to hear that.
Right. He's actually doing work. He's not depending on a politician to save him. Voting, and this is where Negroes like Roland and the Steve Harveys and the Ricky Smileys and others get it wrong. Voting is only one part of the process. It is not the end all and be all salvation. It never was. If it were, black people would be miles ahead.
Yes.
Right now with voting. We had black congressmen, we had black senators, we had a black governor. Well, we have that now, but we even back in Reconstruction, you had black representatives and senators. You had the first black governor of any state, of the state of Louisiana, PBS Pitchback, although he was the governor. Oscar Dunn was the first black first black lieutenant governor.
Okay.
Oscar Dunn. So you've always had blacks in leadership roles that have been before. It changed because of Rutherford B. Hayes rescinding the the federal marshals. The U.S. Marshals were down here to make sure that the Southern boys honored the compromise, the treaty that they had that ended the Civil War. But when he did the great compromise, compromise and pulled the U.S. Marshals out, that's when the Klan started, and they started to vote out many of these black representatives.
Yes.
That's what happened. And they had a monopoly on it for 70-something years. And yes, you had to have the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act that came along to protect, black Americans, make sure there was penalties that was there. But you had the right to vote with the 15th Amendment.
Yeah.
But where they get it wrong is, and here's another thing. I think at that time with the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act passed, everybody was great on the symbolism stuff. Like you had the mayor of New Orleans was Dutch Morial, the first black mayor. First black mayor of Atlanta was Maynard Jackson. Both alphas, I would mind you. First black mayor of Chicago, Harold Washington. You had Bradley out in Los Angeles. You had Dinkins in New York.
I think he's a Kappa, if not an alpha.
Dinkins was an alpha.
Yeah.
But Harold, I think, was a Sigma.
Okay.
But the point of all of this, though, even with all of that, at that time in the 70s and 80s, let's just say the 70s with Morial and Maynard. Now, I don't even remember those guys. I was young, but I've read the story.
Yeah.
Maynard Jackson built up at that airport, Hartsfield Airport, and he made sure black men, black contractors got the majority of those contracts, those businesses coming to them. He told those white boys, you're going to take your 20% and you're going to like it.
Yeah.
He stood on business. I can respect that. Yeah. Same thing with Dutch Morial. Dutch Morial canceled Mardi Gras. When a police officer on strike, he said, y'all not going to come? Fine, no Mardi Gras. And they didn't like, and the white folks didn't like that. Yeah. But they stood up. We don't have Negroes with a spine anymore in these positions.
No, the thing is, if you want to get into, now we got to go into the gray area, the whole chucks and pearls and all of this. Well, and we'll talk about the Divine Nine, and I've been talking about them a lot because 2020, they're the ones who pushed themselves really kind of out of hiding, pushed themselves to the forefront with the chucks and pearls foolishness. Like that. And then number two, this year with the whole Roland Martin and all those alphas and other Democratic black men raising all that money for this chick. And then you had the black women. And the thing is, Steve Coakley has always talked about who the Greeks are. He spent his whole life before he passed away. This website called the Ghetto Times, DA Ghetto TYMZ, the Ghetto Times. Look up Boule files. It talks about this brother. I met him in 2004 on the campus of Fisk University at a hip hop conference. He denounced being an alpha when he started studying Dr. John Henry Clark.
Talking about Steve Copeland?
Yeah, no, he started following Steve Coakley. This brother was an alpha, but he denounced alpha when he learned the truth about who they are and what their actual purpose is. I've always gone on record a bunch of times, forever, and I'll say it tonight. Black Greeks aren't black people. They're a separate group. They're still on that talented 10th foolishness, and they believe that they're better than black people. And I can give several examples of how I can back that up.
Well, when you say that, let me just say this. You're saying all of them?
No, what I'm saying is the institution of Divine Nine, they don't consider themselves, quote unquote, black people. They're a separate group from us. See, those of us who are non-affiliated, we're black people. They only look out for each other. And I give you examples of what I'm talking about if you need clarity.
You give me an example.
Okay.
I want to understand what you're trying to say.
All right, let me tell you. All right. The civil rights movement. The reason we're at the bottom of everything we are today is because of these three groups of blacks: black gays, black Greeks, and black preachers of religions. These three groups of blacks, all they fought for was assimilation, integration, and jobs under white supremacy, meaning they sought out comfort in captivity. Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Fannie Lou Hamer, Ida B. Wells, those folks fought for independence and autonomy and freedom, human rights for black people. But these other three groups of blacks, they wanted assimilation. They didn't want their smoke. That's why they went that route of they wanted access to jobs and access to white sex. Okay. Shout out to Bayard Rustin, member Mega Sci-Fi, flaming homosexual. They used to have to keep him out of meetings because he was so busy trying to flirt with the white men. They used to have to keep him out of meetings, according to what the brothers were teaching. So,
Dr. King, I disassociated with him.
Eventually, huh?
Eventually, but I'm going to push back just a little bit. Just say this. Well, Dr. King, for example, he's an alpha. Mm-hmm. He gave his life for the cause. He was also Boule. You don't think he's exceptional to that?
No, let me tell you something about that. Dr. King messed up with the black Greeks, black gays, and the black preacher. Tavis Smiley wrote a book called The Death of a King, or the last year when he talked. What did you call it?
The Last Days of King or something?
That last year or two is when Dr. King started sounding like Malcolm X. Where's our check? He started.
Well, actually, that was Michael Eric Dyson had a book called "It Might Get to the Mountaintop," and he talked about that too.
Don't even bring that Negro, that cat in this. But
that was before when I was a kid. Well, I had to read that book.
But Tavis finally did write a book. He wrote a book that talked about the last year of Dr. King, how Black America really didn't like him. And when Dr. King moved away from the integration and assimilation, the black Greeks, the black gays, and the black preachers moved away from him. So he kind of went against what the Boule and all the uppity bourgeois blacks wanted. They want jobs and comfort under white supremacy. They didn't want freedom. And even today, you got all these blacks and all these black Greeks and all these positions, and the needle has not really moved for Black America, but they're everywhere. A black judge is a Delta hugged the murder of a black man here in Dallas. And who else?
Botham John.
Yeah, and then you had a black mayor in Alabama who's a Kappa. He said he was caught on audio saying, "I don't need no black people vote. I get enough white folks. I got the next election." Did you hear that recording?
That was recently.
Yeah, after the chair thing, just before the chair incident.
Montgomery brawl.
That mayor said that he's a black Greek. They're everywhere. And that's what they like to be. They like representation and symbolism. So I'm gonna give you an example. Do you remember when this show called Sorority Sisters debuted on VH1 about 5, 7, 8 years ago?
Kind of.
And that's what had a bunch of sorority chicks on there on VH1. And they were baby mamas. They was drinking. They was fighting. And 50,000 members of the Divine Nine got together, signed a change.org petition to get that show off the air.
Yeah.
They were saying it's making us look bad, making the orders look bad. But I said, it's very interesting. Every member of the Black Greek-led organization, you know what shows they watch that make Black women look bad? Real Housewives of Atlanta, Basketball Wives, Married to Medicine. They watch Deep in the Valley or P-Valley. They watch Star. They watch all these other Negro shows. But though I guess you're disrespecting Black women when they're affiliated with Black Greeks, but if they're not affiliated, it's okay. They never had a protest for Black women in general, just the ones who are affiliated. And I said, wow, that's interesting. How they all come together. Number two, Colin Kaepernick was a member of Kappa Alpha Psi. Now, one Kappa came out and said anything publicly to this man who brought attention to unarmed Black men being murdered by rogue cops. You know when Kappa Alpha Psi made a sound? 2 times. You ready? Number one, when the heat was over, all of a sudden, and Colin had gone through all of that, right? 2 or 3 years later, they wrote a letter to the national office of Kappa Alpha Psi, wrote a letter saying, hey, we think he deserves to get his job back. He deserves to be quarterback. But when he was going through the fire, nobody of Kappa Alpha Psi said a word. Number two, they never said anything about anything until this judge that was mixed with Mexican and white, who happened to be a member of Kappa Alpha Psi and who was being criticized by Donald Trump. All of a sudden now the Kappas have something to say about that, but they have anything to say on behalf of Colin Kaepernick, who is fighting for the lives of Black men, unarmed Black men who are being murdered. That's what I'm telling you. They're all about themselves. Now, I want to say this, just like you said a while ago, I have people who I'm friends with, cool with, who are affiliated. And I tell them all the time, y'all, I know y'all cool with me and I'm cool with you. Some of y'all are my friends. But I'm not going to not tell the truth about the institution because you decide to join that institution. And so far, so good. They know I don't mean them, but, it's up to them how they accept it. Go ahead.
Well, look, the alphas, let me say this. Outside of that, I do know that the Greek organizations actually, my understanding, they do some work in the community, some things. I do know that the alphas, when Michael Brown was killed out in Ferguson, they did pay for his funeral. I also know they were the only fraternity that allowed their members to wear their letters when they were out protesting. Because I can recall, I believe when they had sisters who were from like the Deltas or AKAs that was out there protesting and got arrested, they put out a letter, I think, telling them you can't wear your clothing or anything.
Exactly, I remember that.
Now, the alphas might be a little different. And look, Judge Joe Brown, I have him on all the time. Judge Joe is an alpha and old school. But he told me the stuff about what the fraternities did back then. And what the hazing aspect was that he was just breaking down to me, well, that was because they were that was also used to test you when you went down in the South, if you got stopped by the cops, how much pain you can take, because in the movement, in the civil rights movement, Black folks were getting beat up by the cops to give up information or do anything like that. So it was a test. But yeah, I do see some of what you're saying, some of your point on that. Yeah, there are a lot of people. That's like the Jeffersons when he tried to join that club and they were
but the Klansmen?
No, not the one with the Klansmen. He was trying to join a social register. Okay. And he brought the couple over, and Florence was pouring champagne on a different side, and the wife was like, ma'am, when you're pouring champagne, you should pour it from the right.
I know that. Yeah.
Oh, Mrs. Jefferson, could you tell this woman whom she's speaking to? And then Louise just said, of course, Florence, you're speaking to a jackass.
Yeah, I remember that.
That wife called my woman a jackass. I can't believe it. Me neither. Yeah. You should have left off the jack.
Yeah, I remember watching the episode when I was younger, and also when he insulted Weezy by saying, "Obviously, this woman's a poor."
Nigga, what did you say?
What you guys about? So you have the bourgeois blacks. And there's videos that's coming out how the uppity and bourgeois blacks. There's always been a separation. My thing is about the black Greeks. Just stick to throwing the parties, because very sure, and right. I can tell you what mentoring is, what it looks like. What King Randall is doing on his small scale, when he started off at 19 years old, 100 black men of America, black fraternities, they need to go to a workshop that he can be teaching them what it means to actually be a mentor and actually teach black boys. That little simple stuff that they do, I'm calling it simple, because there's too many of them and they got too much money to be doing things on such a small scale. This young man was by himself doing this at 19 years old with his little apartment, bringing in young men, boys out of the juvenile justice system and bringing them to his little home at 19. No money, no support. You got these conglomerates called fraternities and sororities. Y'all can raise money for this non-black Asian. But sororities, AKAs, Chucks and Pearls, y'all can't raise $1.5 million to fight some of this racism you say that black women go through in the medical field. You're saying that black women die at higher rates because white doctors don't believe that their pain level is the same or worse as white women who come in for treatment. Y'all can raise a $1.5 million to even try to combat that. I can't take these groups seriously because I know they're about symbolism and positions under white supremacy, because they're in too many positions. You got a Delta Sigma Theta who's a judge. One is a judge and can't define what a woman is. You kidding me, right? So I can't.
She's with the Democratic agenda. So
say it again.
She's with the Democratic agenda.
But that's the Divine Nine. They're on these black college campuses. They're talking about now we need to go to the college campuses to register people to vote. And I put a question up on the Grambling alumni page. I said, okay, if you find out that the student is not going to vote for Kamala, or the student says out loud that they're not a Democrat, are y'all going to assault them and verbally attack them the way you do everybody else outside of the college campus?
And what happened after you posted that?
That what they're supposed to be, what their job is supposed to be registering. Two guys, one was an alpha, and I think he's on the sugar side. He said, of course, what they say, it'll be ignorant of them to be voting for racist Donald Trump. Nobody even said that. But he said, yeah. Another person said, yeah, they need to be taught that they don't want to be voting for no racists and all this. I'm like, wow, y'all supposed to be just registering people to vote. You can't tell people who to vote for, right?
Well, that's true. Yeah. No, you can't tell people who to vote for, but a lot of groups do that. By the way, I am a member of 100 Black Men too in New Orleans.
Oh yeah, well, enjoy your.
We do. Huh?
Enjoy your tuxedos and tennis shoe balls.
I haven't gone to one yet. Sponsored by them. We don't have. I don't have one that we haven't had that. Okay. But we would. I was doing some mentoring actually Saturday. We were at the New Orleans East Library talking to some kids. About what we can do, especially as an attorney. What I would be doing. We're gonna have workshops with regards to what to do when you're stopped by the police, how to deal with these new laws that they have in place, things of that nature. But I see. I do see some degree what your point is. So.
I just think they can be doing more. They have so many powerful.
Sure.
Why aren't these black Greek letter attorneys and others? But why aren't they suing for reparations? There's too many of them. They be talking about Thurgood Marshall, but where are the Thurgood Marshall attorneys today?
Well, that's suing for reparations is easier said than done.
I mean, but it's a lot of them. It's a lot. They can get together and form a conglomerate and go at it.
Yeah, they have look, they got a brother I know, Demario Simons, who's Omega. He actually sued for Black Wall Street. He had the 3 survivors. Okay. He did try a lawsuit for them, but the Supreme Court denied it because they said the nuisance law that they had wouldn't apply in this case. Yeah, so they always
try. The little sorry mayor said.
Yeah. Now that was it was the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court of Oklahoma was doing that though too. Yeah. But
yeah, so I get it, but I guess my point is, I'm not trying to lay everything on their shoulders. But if you're gonna prop yourself up like you're all that, well, let's see it. Let's get to it. You're all the judges. You're the prosecutors. You're working all the banks. You're all up in the world of academia. You're in the public schools. You're the principals, superintendents. You're the school teachers.
You're saying they could do more. Practice what you preach is what you say.
Yeah, the schools are failing. All these public schools where Black Greeks are in charge, the kids are reading at barely 3 to 6%.
Well, the literacy rate is up.
Well, what's a 5% now?
The entire system all over the country is just broken up, man.
But I'm just saying that if they try to put themselves up so high, I'm trying to see the results.
I feel you. I want to show this though, because we mentioned Ricky Smiley and Roland Martin. Now, this is Steve Harvey. I want to play this, but I want to move on though too. But you remember, of course, what everybody knows what Ricky Smiley had to say. I'm with her. He's with Kamala.
Yeah, I heard that.
Excuse me, Vice President Harris. Because that's another thing. People get mad. You mispronounce her name. Michael Eric Dyson Simps. She called her out of her name because she was a luscious chocolate of a woman who might be biracial, but she is also on-racial.
Oh, God.
Because she does her thing. That's Dyson.
Yeah.
But I want to show this. So Steve Harvey addresses Umar Johnson because Umar Johnson said they were trying to pay him $10,000. I don't know about that, but he said Steve Harvey and Ricky Smiley, essentially D.L. Hughley and others. Well, he specifically mentioned Ricky Smiley and Steve Harvey and how they paid to push their agenda. So he responds, and I'm gonna play this.
Nothing for $10,000. Don't even insult. Don't insult the brand equity that I've built over these 30 years of television. I just don't, man. And I'm doing this absolutely free of charge because I want this country to be in her hands as opposed to Donald Trump's hands. That's why I do it. Now, me and Ricky Smiley happen to be on the same page. Now we cues now.
Now, I will say this though: Steve Harvey and Ricky Smiley, they said they're on the same page. And he's gonna admit too. D.L. Hughley is an Omega. He's a Q. Now you know who else is a Q dog? Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
Andrew Wyatt, and I had Andrew all the time on here.
I love it. Sir.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I saw though. I love Andrew Wyatt. Yeah,
Andrew Wyatt is a great brother. And they've gone in, and even Andrew has gone in on his frat brothers, D.L. Hughley, because D.L. does not like Bill Cosby. They've had beef. And he certainly called out Steve Harvey, because Steve Harvey talked about how he reached out to Dr. Cosby. He said he never called Cosby. He never earned his trial. But what a lot of people don't know, and Ricky Smiley even said this, Ricky Smiley and D.L. Hughley work for the same network.
Yeah, I know.
Right. Real.
They all helped each other get those shows. Steve Harvey pushed up and pushed down, brought in Ricky, and then DL and Ricky, DL and Steve, and they brought in Ricky.
Right. Well,
Tom Joyner, who's an Omega, brought in Ricky.
Tom Joyner, Ricky Smiley took over Tom Joyner's spot.
Yes.
Yeah. Because they forced Tom Joyner out after Barack Obama. If you remember, Tom, and I've had my thing with Tom Joyner. I would say this. He wrote an article for Black America Web telling Dr. Cosby to take a plea deal, and there was nothing to plead to. And how are you going to say this? And this is the man who actually showed up to your Sky show when you would do a Sky show in Philadelphia and asked for nothing and asked to be paid nothing just so he could help promote Black colleges and universities and raise money. And that's another frat. So I want y'all, but listen to what Steve Harvey says. Now, this is the same Steve Harvey a few years ago. He said all this stuff, but then, and he even did, and y'all can look at it, long epilogue after Trump won. But then he went to Trump Towers to meet with Donald Trump in 2017.
Yeah, it was the first
and so did D.L. Hughley.
Yeah, he did.
And Q's kind of run the airways of Black radio.
Okay. All right.
The Q's is running the airways of Black radio.
All right, perfect.
But we also understand what's at stake here. So no, I haven't received a single dollar from anybody to do what I do. And I'm doing it gladly for free. Yes, and I'm going to freely have her on here again and again and again. I am going to freely ask soft-ass questions. I am going to freely lob the basketball so she can slam dunk all these questions. Yes, I'm going to freely sit here and agree. So the black vote is not for sale, but it is a very important block of votes that can control the outcome of this election. And if I have my way, if it is within God's will, she will be the next president of the United States, because the alternative, see, there's only two people running for president. Yeah. It's Kamala Harris, Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, or Donald Trump.
It's not.
It's not. They keep pushing that lie.
It's not. They may, you could say they're the only ones who will likely win. Yes, because we have a dictatorship, two-party dictatorship in the United States. It's Democrat or Republican. It's basically saying Pepsi or Coke, but it's all soda pop at the end of the day. But Steve Harvey basically said he's going to lob a question. So what he's basically what he is telling you is that he's not going to hold her accountable.
Right.
Or ask any tough questions that you may want to ask. And this is the problem with many of the black members, the blacks that are in media, not just Greek, but just blacks that don't ask tough, people who are in positions of power that don't. You know, Don Lemon, when he was on CNN, he wouldn't ask, well, the hardest question he asked was alleged victim in the Cosby case, why you didn't bite off the man's steak.
He didn't get fired for that?
He didn't get fired for it, but I mean, he and there's a long story to that, I have to say, but on that, but he was trying to test the woman, and I mean, and that's a whole nother story about the Cosby thing, but that's the toughest question I ever saw Don Lemon ask. You know, when Donald Trump was on that stage for the National Black Journalists Association, he actually was asked by Rachel Scott from ABC News, who is AKA.
Shocking.
She came off hard on him. Let's be real. Everybody knows she wouldn't have done that to Joe Biden. She damn sure wouldn't have done it to Barack Obama.
Nope.
The demeanor and the way she acted. Everybody deep down knows that.
Well, so I said it out loud on my page.
Yeah. So
they got upset about it.
But Steve Harvey pushing this lie. Everybody knows they got an independent, Robert Kennedy. Cornel West is also running.
Jill Stein.
Steve Harvey called Cornel West and Tavis Smiley Uncle Toms when they were going at Obama.
Asking them real questions. What about your policy on the poor? And they got upset. They didn't want out. Let me tell you something about these black elites. And that's why I'm going on them. It's black elites who all they want are galas and invitation to the White House. They don't care what happened to the rest of us. They don't give a crap. All they want is to be on TV, say they with the president, even to go so far as to call a woman who's never identified as black, call this woman black. And what he said, well, you know, pretty much the Qs run the airwaves. Well, we already know that, Steve Harvey. We already said that. Excuse me. But this year, Cat Williams set it up. This is the year of truth. He called it all out in January or February of this year. And that's what these people who've been afforded to live in hiding in plain sight without any kind of pushback. But this year's been a pushback of the bootlicks and the sellout, and they can't stand it. And that's one of the things I always say I appreciate about social media. Because before then, we had ABC, CBS, NBC, whatever. And the talk show did not have any black male talk show hosts. So black men were not allowed to respond to any criticism. And our scholars, they went from school to school. They were invited to conferences, but they really couldn't get their voices out the way social media does. And social media allows us to really get at them right away in real time. And that's what I love about YouTube, X, TikTok, Facebook, hell, Rumble, anything that allows your voice to get out. We didn't have that at first. And Steve Harvey been shaking in his boots for the long. D.L. Hughley's so mad because whenever he says something stupid, we're right on him. And then you get in their little chat feeds, and you get on them, and they read them. Ricky Smiley, I hope he doesn't go somewhere and run his car off a bridge, because they've been tearing his behind a new one. No Diddy, no pause, but I'm sure he'd probably appreciate that.
Somebody said, Spirit said, why does Steve Harvey look in a court deposition?
Because he caught up.
Let me just say, Your Honor, let me just say, y'all can run all the hell. I don't give a damn. I don't know what you say. I don't drive no more. I got I have two drivers. That drive me at the same damn time. When I'm trying to get my mustache lined up, I didn't hit that woman's car.
Oh, wow.
I don't give a damn what she say. Her ass know what I done did.
Oh, yeah. But these are the people they give out. These are the people that the system give microphones to. They won't give me a microphone, or you one, or Professor Truth, or the Black Authority, Jason Black. They won't give TD Media. They won't give Kwame Brown. They won't give those of us. They won't give us these $500,000 plus jobs to tell the truth over their ways when on their systems. So yeah, they're hired to do this. Keep it funny, keep it foolish, and keep it stupid. And that's their job.
Well, I like to entertain. And look, you see me on here. I like to play around. I like entertainment. It's fun, but I also like to give people a voice and say things. And you're right. We didn't have before the internet. We didn't have outlets in which to speak up and say things. But now everybody's got a microphone because they got this. So
yeah.
Let me finish. Let us finish the video, and we're gonna go to some.
That's the choice. So I don't know. And if somebody offered you 10, you should have took it. But anybody offered me nothing. But please don't insult me and offer me $10,000. Because I'm telling you right now, it costs way more. Me gonna turn this mic on.
Oh, Steve, way more. Get him is $10,000.
I can't even let that get out about me.
The amount of insulting to you. Wow.
That's just, really
the brand.
And look, man, they can take their campaign money and put it into other causes, like buying ads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The ad I'm running right now, this is free.
Free. Please go vote for Kamala Harris. Do it for free.
Kamala Harris campaign ad right now. Please vote. The black vote is not for sale.
It is not.
But it is a very, very viable force. It really is important. And that's why everybody wants it, man.
That's right.
And because let me tell you something. If you look at the last presidential election, when it got down to Michigan, Wisconsin, it got down to Philadelphia, it got down to Georgia, Atlanta. Yeah. Philly, Pennsylvania. All those, the Republicans were winning out in the suburbs. When they got to the inner cities where we heavily populate Atlanta, Philadelphia, Detroit, Milwaukee, that turned the election. And the same thing can happen this time. And they all know it. Why do you think Donald Trump, who don't give a damn about the National Association of Black Journalists, would even walk his ass out there? So he was out there to try to make black people think that he's done more for black people than any president since Abraham Lincoln. But he can't say one thing he's done for black people. And then got mad at the black woman for asking him tough questions. Now,
she didn't ask him just tough questions.
She didn't ask him any damn questions.
She came out hostile.
That's
I'm
right.
being honest. She was hostile.
She came in there to be a pure B word.
This is why you can't trust journalists like Steve Harvey's not even a journalist.
Well, he's not a journalist. He's just a mouthpiece they hired to push an agenda.
Anybody else that don't agree with that right there, I understand. But just show me what he's done for black people so I can understand. Because right now I don't.
All right. Go on and
Kamala Harris for president.
He can't show anything that Kamala said that she's going to do for black people. She said she was asked point blank 4 years ago, what is you plan on? Do you believe in reparations? And she did a word salads talking about basically what I do for everybody will benefit everybody. And like a rising tide lifts all boats. I'm not going to sit here. Yes. But the problem is that when your boat has a hole in it, the tide doesn't cause the boat to rise. The tide's going to cause the boat to sink.
Exactly.
And that's what's happened to black people for the last 400 years. And we keep getting the shit wrong. And in part, we get it wrong because we got people like Steve Harvey. They put comedian, and look, he's a comedian. Yeah, he's made it a successful business, a successful career he has. I've heard stories about Steve Harvey, though, that haven't been good. I never met the man. Most of what I heard, I probably don't want to meet him.
Right.
But, I know he's some people. I know he did try to keep Bernie from getting that Ocean's 11 movie.
They told that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I approve this message.
I approve this message absolutely for free. If you try to offer 10,000, I'm gonna quit talking
And
to
let
you.
me share something with you real quick. What they just did. I saw the whole Umar response, whole comment, and you see how they play games. Now you know damn well Umar wasn't implying that they offered Steve Harvey $10,000. Instead of dealing with the topic what Umar said, they took something like that and they made it the response. Umar Johnson never said that you were offered $10,000. They just said you got paid. Number two, Umar said they offered him. Umar's not on the status of a Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley. He's not all over the place. And it is easy to offer someone who they think like Umar, Dr. Umar, $10,000. They'll probably offer me the same thing. But no, Steve Harvey, you in the clique. They know you're going to do it for free. You're a baboon for free. You're a coon for free. And that's what he said. I do that for free. Did you see that that interview he did with her on it was at a
100 Black Men convention.
Okay, he said he said that lobbying crap then. And how they gonna give us nothing if we don't vote? The same stuff, the way they talk to black people every election cycle.
Right.
And this year we're over it. Even let's say this, even if she wins, I'm gonna say when she wins, because they got an agenda. How you gonna just have somebody?
When she wins, you think she's gonna win?
Oh, look, man, it's like just hear me out, I guess. I don't want it to happen, but I live in reality. I'm of a particular age. I know how this stuff works. Trump winning was a fluke. They had no idea because they had done a huge multi-billion-dollar campaign, smearing campaign on that guy. And number two, Trump is not a part of the good old boy, good old girl club. There are Republicans and Democrats that do not want Trump to be president. They didn't want him to be president then. Donald Trump is a regular New York dude who's a businessman. He don't know anything about being a politician. He doesn't know anything. All he knows is we need to get the profits back in this country. We're going to make them bring the business back in America. We're going to make those foreign countries. Y'all pay. Damn, we've been paying all these bills. He said, France, you got some money. Germany, y'all got some money. Remember that G20 thing that he had, that G20 summit? When he made it all, y'all need to pay y'all fair share. Right. We got oil over here. How can we? Why we paying Japan? So he was doing like the art of the deal kind of stuff. And with these other people, they make billions of dollars off of war. They make money off of all the little wheeling and dealing they've been doing. And Trump come in with his naive self that he'll come in and actually run the country. Like make it like it's supposed to be. Said no, these people run off of divisiveness, racism, white supremacy, and cheating and killing people. And he brought his behind up in there trying to be, he actually thought, well, this is America. We're going to make it great again. We're going to make it like we need to keep our own money, put our own people to work, get our own people in the middle class, get our own. And these people are about games. So Kamala Harris, when they cheated him out of 2020, they put Biden in. Biden has not run the country since at all. He's been sick. The man's been sick.
Here's the thing. Biden said himself he said it a few months ago. He was not dropping out the race. I remember when Rollie Martin was even calling this black man, telling him to shut up, be quiet on the show, because he said after the debate, it was so disastrous. Let Kamala come in. And he said, like, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Now we see that now. But I'm going to tell you this. I think this is going to be shades of, I think it was Ronald Reagan versus Walter Mondale. I honestly think I believe Trump's going to win. Because here's the thing. Kamala Harris has not won. And this is there's some Democrats deep down who didn't care for her when she was the vice president pick.
Yes. He
never won a prize. And the most important thing you got to keep in mind, Rico, 18 million votes went to Joe Biden for re-election among the primaries. She hasn't won any primary. Even when she was running for president 4 years ago, she could not win her home state of California. She finished 5th. Tulsi Gabbard
exposed a lot of what she did. And you know, I got people when I was in a barbershop a few weeks ago, going back and forth with some Negroes who debate me about the Democrats, and you know, telling me you must not know how politics works. You know, not know elections work. I was an election attorney one time, fool. I was an election attorney for a judge. I have a political science major from Southern. I know how politics works. I'm involved in a lot of stuff. Now, I don't go every day, but I keep word and I have people tell me things and I pay attention to it. So I have an idea. But the president, and you say the elite rulers, they're puppets for the elite rulers. Yes, that's true to a degree. Yes. They are selected before they are elected. And even Trump hinted at that when he was asked the question, I think at the NABJ, where he talked about how he had this meeting with Obama of some sorts. They meet like before all the stuff goes down. Yeah, that does happen. Now, but I just have a feeling because and here's another problem too, and this is what I'm thinking, Rico, if Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, wins after not receiving any primary vote, how do you think white Americans are going to take it when they see something like that transpire? And especially if she wins by a landslide, everybody going to say, oh, the jig was up. This was set up. Joe Biden knew he wasn't going to run for president. And a lot of people are upset about that.
Yeah, they put him out there because let me tell you two things. See, the reason Hillary Clinton, you know, the one who was supposed to be running instead of Hillary was what's that old fool's name? Sanders.
Bernie Sanders.
No, not Simone, but the old man. Bernie Sanders. Bernie was beating Hillary in all the primaries. I remember I saw something that I didn't know that they did. He would win, and I thought all electoral votes went to the winner. They said it'd be 5 electoral votes. They'd give him 3 and give her 2. But he won. He would win the state. I said, oh. So when it came down to the convention, I said, wow, they took it from Bernie and gave it to Hillary because these people are about symbolism. They're trying to get a woman in. And so they're going to try it again with this Kamala chick. And so, and all it is, and when she wins again, it's going to set black people even further back because the Democratic Party, say what you want to say about Republicans, because we don't even vote Republican, remember? We vote Democrat 94 to 97%. So why you people even bring up damn Republican?
Well, you know, Trump has increased, like he actually doubled black votes from what he did previously in 2020. So he actually
20%.
It wasn't it wasn't 20%, but I'm think
saying it's up to 20% now so far.
I think it was because Trump is actually an independent. He was a Democrat originally. A lot of people forget, and there's a video I'll play a little bit later, but he actually that's Vice President Harris's husband.
Yeah, I know that. I know who first gentleman.
First gentleman, right? But he actually told Oprah Winfrey if he ran for president, he was going to run as a Republican. But a lot of people don't know. And there's a video that's floating around on Twitter. I just was looking at. He was the finance man for Jesse Jackson's.
Yeah, I saw that video. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was for his runs for campaign, and Jesse was just at the DNC. So all of a sudden, you hang out with this man. I'm just being real. This is how fake our leaders are. Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, and others. You know, Russell Simmons even said something. Y'all been hanging out with this guy beforehand.
All through the 80s, all through the 90s.
Right. That's Emhoff's daughter.
Yeah, wow. So, and if I'm showing it, but I just want to end up on that last point on why Kamala's going to win. And the reason is they're going to push on through there. And it's going to destroy the black population even more. They already killing us with the symbolism. The Chucks in the Divine Nine think they're going to be empowered because she won, but all it is going to really set black people back. The Democratic Party has never had an agenda except for incarceration and the breaking up of families for the black population, and it's still going on today. So when she wins, we're not going to win anything. When Trump wins, should he win, that's when you'll see actual win for black men. And people say, well, black men like him because he was giving those convictions. How insulting.
He was giving them money and all of this stuff.
And they keep bringing up that damn $1,200. I mean, they really don't respect the black race. They act like that money was just given to black folks. It was given to Americans.
Right.
It wasn't just given to us. Mexicans got it. Jews got it. LGBT got it. Old white. Everybody got a $1,200 and $600 check. But we sit here and allow these people to insult us on petty stuff. That was an American thing. That wasn't black folks. Oh yeah, he got those 34 felonies. So black men identify with that. How insulting. And we had a lot of Negroes who pushed that ignorant narrative. That's not true at all. Now, some people say, damn, what they showed was how dirty the Democratic Party is. They're so afraid of competition that y'all are trying to take the competition out by putting them in jail. If y'all got a solid plan, if you have solid policies, why y'all trump up these charges? Number 3, how come y'all bringing up him supposedly paying a porno star, but Fonnie Willis paid for her ding-a-ling too, and gave him a job? But that's not a problem.
A guy who never tried a criminal case, a family law attorney,
$150,000.
And he's made $1 million from that case. He
sleep with an average at best, bad built broad who had to pay for him. So I see both sides. I said, wow, y'all don't see none of that, huh? But y'all see everything a Republican or Trump does. And people, me talking like this, well, go say you go vote for Trump. I ain't got to say none of that. I'm going to what we both should be seeing. I see both sides. I said, wow, how come real quick, how come Tim Scott says, I love you, man, to Trump, and he's a coon, he's a sellout, and black folks drug him for filth. Then Billy Porter bends over and kissed Joe Biden's hand. Van Jones said in tears, I love him. I love him. Neither one of them called them coons, sellouts, or baboons. I said, this shit can't be real. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to cuss, but I'm just like, this can't be real. Yeah. So I don't take us seriously, man. I can't. It's that Trump derangement syndrome. It's awful. So this is, go ahead. I'm done.
To tie that in, this is at the DNC. They're giving out free vasectomies and abortions.
Lord Jesus.
That is an inflatable Freda called Freda Womb. That's outside. That's outside the DNC. This was reported by the New York Times, and the New York Post picked it up. This was from Monday. IUD called Freda Womb. I can't wait till Christmas when somebody from the DNC puts that on their lawn. Or it might be on the White House lawn.
Freda Womb, huh? And you know, all that is, the only policies they have for black folks is reproductive rights. That's all they talk about. And all that means is women should be allowed to use abortion as birth control, and they want the taxpayers to pay for it.
Well, let me be careful, even with that word, because you know you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Unalive. They won't.
Yeah. It's all right. I don't want to say hate speech, but
yes, sorry. Dang.
You know, I even hate that because you know the word is there. It's in the law. Everybody knows what these things mean. So I don't know why you will try and censor it, but that's the problem with YouTube. Yeah. I mean, on Rumble, well, here's the thing. I'm on Rumble as well, which everybody can go to Random Topics and subscribe, because if you go to Rumble, they don't do, even though it's conservatives that are on now, they don't censor you. Like you.
It's like X doesn't censor you anymore either.
No, that's because Elon Musk is cracker white boy from a South. He's an African American, real one. But I give him he's a rich white boy talking shit. I give it. He doesn't care for censorship.
And they fired Don Lemon's ass right away. The Don Lemon thought he's gonna talk crazy to the man. I said, he just hired you. You're supposed to throw him some lobby questions like Steve Harvey throwing to Kamala Harris. You're supposed to throw that man some lobby questions. You don't do your boss like that and expect him to show up, have a job on Monday. Do you?
You say I'm lobbying for Kamala. You're damn right. I'm gonna lob her alley oop. Her ass is Dr. J. And you could just call me Charles Barkley from my rookie season. That's all I'm doing. Y'all don't know what we done did. I had to lob.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get in the White House. I'm hosting the inauguration.
See, that's what they want.
I'm a host of Kamala's inauguration. I'm a host her summer pool jam.
That's right.
I'm a host her drag race. I'm a host every damn thing.
That's right. And
that's
gonna be a mess.
Summit. I'm hosting the G8 Summit. Y'all don't know what we gonna did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they want. They want another. They're upset that the elite and the bougie blacks missed the galas at the White House with Obama. And also, like you said, alluded to, Kamala is going to continue the 5-year-olds being able to make decisions over their parents to change their bodies medically. Continue with drag queen reading time. They will continue to have men with mustaches and wigs going in girls' locker rooms and playing in girls' sports. And Kamala Harris went all over Africa trying to push LGBT or homosexuality on African countries, but she didn't go to the Middle East. She never went to Dubai to do it. I wonder why.
You know why? Because they are very strict over there.
Yeah, that's right. So
and, the United States and the Middle East have a interesting relationship because the United States desires oil and other mineral sources from over there. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to mess with Saudi Arabia, which is our ally. It allows us access to their ports and tell these Muslims what they can and can't do with their religion. Because if you came over there doing that stuff, and look, the Fortune 500 companies like Coca-Cola and PayPal and others do business over there. They were telling people in the United States, especially in the states that had these bathroom bills, how they were going to take their businesses out. But wait, they got called out because you guys do business over there, and they're even more hostile towards LGBTQ. Now,
that's right.
Let me say what I'm going to show you is this. So this, I told you, that's the. I was talking about that with someone earlier, and they're going to be traveling to Chicago from all over the country. Dr. Colleen McNichols, the chief medical officer of Planned Parenthood Great Rivers. Great Rivers covers basically the Missouri and Southern Illinois area. So they're actually taking a mobile truck to schedule appointments for unaliving kids and snips.
Yeah, isn't that something? They're trying to stop reproduction.
Right. Well, and other activists, so they got Hotties for Harris party in addition. Now, is this the Meg Thee Stallion crew?
Hotties for Harris. Yes, that's Meg Thee Stallion.
That's them?
Hotties for Harris.
Now, if I was 18 years old, I can remember when Diddy had Vote or Die. And everybody was going, and look, everybody was lining up to vote for John Kerry. Everybody, we didn't like George Bush, and I'll go on record saying this: George W. Bush, to me, was the worst president of my lifetime.
A lot of lifetimes,
bar none. Yes, but they really were pushing. John Kerry was a terrible candidate, though. He wasn't the best. I called him Herman Munster.
Yeah, he was awful. That's time Jesse should have ran again.
Nah. This is according to the Daily Beast. I don't know how true this is. I don't really care for the Daily Beast. They're saying, according to this, that
all right. Getting it in.
They're planning a party. I hate when they do this crap.
Party of smut.
They trying to get me to buy this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the hottest, that's Meg Thee Stallion, so they're trying to plan a party.
Right on. Oh, election night or?
They say the hotties are trying to do a white dudes and the cat ladies.
Who what?
I can't read it because they are forcing me to.
Oh, okay. Say the white dudes and the cat ladies.
Yeah, that was part of the article I was looking at.
I think Trump should have chose Tulsi Gabbard as his vice president, so the women can have somebody to vote for her. I like Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, she's a veteran in the army too.
An attractive white lady.
Yeah, she's not bad looking.
Knows her stuff.
Okay. She's not bad looking, no. Oh my God. I turned this off. Hold on. Hold on. And I hear my parents, I think they're in the back, they're watching the DNC.
Okay.
Yeah. So
oh wow, this has to be 10 o'clock. I got to get up early in the morning, so let's.
Yeah, same here. I'm about to wrap it up, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm sorry I can't pull it up, but yeah, if you can, y'all want to pay the Daily Beat for it.
We'll take your word for it, brother.
But yeah, I was looking at that. They would say drunks, fuse, and fries. We reveal the secrets of the DNC. They say Harris. Let's play a little bit because Barack Obama, Michelle Obama is speaking right now. So I'm gonna just play a little bit of former First Lady Michelle Obama. And someone even talked about her running for president.
Yeah, they tried to push out there. She would have killed it.
Candidates in this race, only Kamala Harris truly understands the unseen labor and unwavering commitment that has always made America great. Now, unfortunately, we know what comes next. We know folks are going to do everything they can to distort her truth. My husband and I sadly know a little something about this. For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us. See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hardworking, highly educated, successful people who happen to be Black.
Oh man, California even passed on voting on Harris.
Who's going to tell him?
Huh?
Who's going to
tell him
the job he's currently seeking might just...
They passed on voting for her.
Well, they're not gonna do the whole thing because who else is running against her?
Nobody.
Okay, so I guess that's pretty significant.
No one. I mean, she had enough to get the nomination anyway. So yeah, so the DNC is gonna end on Thursday, and that's when she's gonna give her acceptance speech.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's interesting how they just shoot her in there. That's why I know I said all this already planned in the beginning.
Oh.
And so that's why I'm, it is what it is. If you understand how this stuff works, they need to complete with the continuation of bringing in these illegals because they're going to have to replace the Black vote. They see that a lot of us have left the plantation. They got to replace the Black vote. That's why they're letting these millions upon millions of immigrants vote. It's so interesting.
Truly understands the unseen.
Those 6,000 Haitians that came to the border, how they got them away from the border. The actual black folks.
Yeah.
I said, black people didn't even react to that. They saw the horses and all of that, but there was no really a national outcry of racism right there. I knew then, I said, something wrong with the American Negro. There's something clinically wrong.
Right.
Well, it is. A sister by the name of Dr. Joy Leary wrote the book called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. So you can read and find out exactly what's wrong with Negroes. We're still behaving, still suffering from that old behavior. We still exemplify that cognitive dissonance that we've been taught to have towards one another. And we can't stand dark skin now. We'll take brown, but African dark skin, oh no. And when we're so stupid, that is what we need to rejuvenate our blood. We're catching all these diseases because that we don't have the pure African blood in us anymore. Then we have the nerve to date and reproduce interracially. That stuff is breaking our genetics down. That's why we be so sick. That's why we're catching stuff that we normally didn't catch. When I was hoping that he let those Haitians open.
You're saying that black people are getting sick because they sleep interracially?
What I'm saying is, when anytime, don't pose questions so simplistically. Don't do that.
But that's what it sounds like.
What I'm telling you,
clarify it. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. When our African blood is our original blood. Just like when you pour cream into coffee, doesn't that weaken the strength of the black coffee?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cream.
So, and that's why for Black Americans, we really need a rejuvenation of our original blood. The people, our brothers and sisters from Africa, those Haitians, and they put those in the black neighborhoods, and we started dating and reproducing with them. You bring out would take us back to that pure bloodline that we come from. Because those some real black folks that's at that border. And Kamala Harris and Biden and Harris like, no, we're going to keep these weekend brown, beige, and high yellow blacks that we've got them all mixed up and messed up their DNA. And so we don't want them to be just like that. We don't want them to have a taste of the original African from the soil blood. I know that's going to hurt a lot of intellectual data.
Well, the thing that though is that's already too little, too late, because all of us are not poor, pure red-blooded Africans.
That's made my comment.
And I mean, black is black. Look at my father is a fair-skinned black man.
Yeah,
my mom is brown skin. I have dark skin relatives myself. We come in all shades of the color, as they say.
Well, because of it, no. Now I understand. And what the reason I made that statement is because of what you just said. A lot of us aren't as the original that we were, and that genetically, medically, that hurts us. That hurts us. That has hurt us medically. You can date and reproduce what you want to, but medically, that has hurt us. So when I saw those real black folks at that border, that white man saw them real black folks. We not get them. We're bringing these beige and white Latinos and El Salvadorians, the ones that look like Selena. They can come in because they're going to blend in with the Caucasian population for the most part, over to each other, and keep it beige and beyond. The name of the game is keep the brown and dogs out. The same thing. Medically, that would work. That would have worked in our advantage. Now, what they went through, we got to put up a lot of foolishness because they came from gangs and a daggum earthquake. And them folks, them Haitians, I think of in Haiti, they live a lot rougher than they do on the south side of Chicago.
Yeah.
But anywho.
Like Michelle Obama still talking. I think Barack Obama is going to speak next.
He's going to be what, tomorrow?
Barack is speaking. No, he's speaking today.
Oh, so he's going to end it out. So it's going to be over like 10:30.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying it went over yesterday because Biden came on.
He spoke for an hour.
Trying to stand up for what we know in our hearts.
He was tired out.
Yeah, he talked a long time.
Yeah.
To stand up, not just for our basic.
So you got to run, man?
Yeah, I got to get up, man, like 7 in the morning.
For basic respect.
Get my stuff together. I go back to work tomorrow seeing clients. So trying to save lives, man.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna Yeah, I got a lot to do this week, so I wasn't going to show the whole DNC stay up for like a whole 2 hours on it. It's long.
Yeah, it is. I'll turn on the TV as I'm getting
How
ready
you
to
ain't?
talk.
Listen to what did she say?
We got to put down
Wait,
that
hold on a
phone
second.
and do something. If we start feeling tired,
Let me
if we
rewind
start
it. Hold
feeling
on.
that,
Listen carefully to what the First Lady said.
Okay.
this is going to be an uphill battle. So, folks, we cannot be our own worst enemies. No. See,
Listen
because the
carefully. It's
minute
coming up.
something goes wrong, the minute a lie takes hold, folks, we cannot start wringing our hands. We cannot get a Goldilocks complex about whether everything is just right. And we cannot indulge our anxieties about whether this country will elect someone like Kamala instead of doing everything we can to get someone like Kamala elected. Kamala and Tim, they have lived amazing lives. And I am confident that they will lead with compassion, inclusion, and grace.
Yeah, more of that.
But they are still only human. They are not perfect. And like all of us, they will make mistakes. But luckily, y'all, this is not just on them. No, this is up to us, all of us, to be the solution that we seek. It's up to all of us to be the antidote to the darkness and division. Look, I don't care how you identify politically, whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, or none of the above. This is our time to stand up for what we know in our hearts is right.
All right,
To stand
it's
up,
coming up. Hold on.
not just for our basic freedoms, but for decency and humanity, for basic respect, dignity, and empathy, for the values at the very foundation of this democracy. It's up to us to remember what Kamala's mother told her. Don't just sit around and complain, do something. So if they lie about her, and they will, we've got to do something. If we see a bad poll, and we will, we got to put down that phone and do something. If we start feeling tired, if we start feeling that dread creeping back in, we got to pick ourselves up, throw water on our face, and what? We only have 2.5 months, y'all, to get this done. Only 11 weeks to make sure every single person we know
this is running,
registered and has
it's 10 o'clock
a voting plan.
Here. It's 11 o'clock over there. So by the time President Obama come on, this might go up to 12 o'clock in New York.
To sit on their hands and wait to be called.
They're in Chicago, so it's 10 o'clock
Don't
there as well.
complain if
Well, I mean,
on
on
the
the
campaign
on the East
has
Coast, yeah.
specifically reached out to you to ask you for
It's
your
gonna be
support.
about 11 o'clock when they finish.
There is
maybe
simply
longer.
no time for that kind of foolishness.
And remember when President Obama spoke in 2016, and he said that if black men didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, it was going to be an affront to my legacy.
It's all insults back and forth. Who are you?
Is asking you, no, I'm telling y'all.
They don't even address black men doing when they're president, when they're governor, when they're congressman. They don't even address black men. But when it comes to voting time, all of a sudden, we need you. Well, we needed you while you was in office.
Yeah. So
I'm glad black men are waking up this year. And even if after she's put in there, this is still a remarkable year. This is the first time in so long that black men are actually on the same page of like, look, we need to become an independent body. And really, nationally, we may not be able to make a huge dent, but in these local elections in these cities, that's where black men, non-affiliated black men, heterosexual, masculine black men can come out and get registered and take over the mayor's office, city council seats, school board, county commissioner, court clerk, city clerk,
attorney,
district. Oh my God, district attorney. And it's amazing that all this stuff that impacts black men, you would think that the real ones would be trying to, get in school, get the law degree, or run for these state rep positions, but they're not, because brothers is like, look, I'm just trying to work. And I've changed my mind on the whole voting thing. Because first I was like, man, forget all of that. But I learned locally, when black men finally wake up, then we'll be able to take our place and change some of these laws that's kicking us in the behind locally. State and locally. That's what black men are being just kicked. As Kwame Brown was saying, have our draws kicked up our arse. And that's what's happening. And I want black men to continue to wake up even after this election is over. Let's get that black man packed together and start putting brothers in the real brothers, not these affiliated bootleg, bought off black dudes that's been running around here all this time under the guise of being black men.
Yeah. I want to show just 1-2 quick videos. They had this at the DNC. I'm not trying to make fun of this man.
Oh, no.
But I didn't understand. I'm not making fun of him. But I don't know what we're doing with this. I think
they're showcasing inclusivity.
Yeah.
You got the trans, you got him.
In 2008, we met while working on the Obama-Biden campaign.
Yeah, this is a couple.
A couple?
They're married.
Are you kidding me?
No, they're married.
Was he like that but when they got married?
Probably. I don't know if he was like that when they got married, but
couldn't have. Okay.
Yeah, D. Tubman, I didn't know what that was. What I couldn't understand. I'm not making fun of him.
Right.
That's something I saw, and I was like, he wanted to speak his piece. I guess they had that there. Yeah, they had the tranny there in New Jersey. Yeah, they talk about being inclusive. That's true.
That's what that's about.
Now, this video, I want to play this right quick. This is from Harry Belafonte.
Murdered. Martin said, I sit here deeply concerned that I suspect we are leading our nation on an integration trip that has us integrating into a burning house. Most of the politicians I know of make promises only to walk into the places of power and then deny us. I guess part of the reason I'm here is to really look through the ravages of the Democratic Party and see if anything is really worth salvaging. The last thing, Dr.
That's
King
Harry Belafonte said that. He's saying, is there anything worth salvaging?
No.
Yeah. Now, Harry Belafonte passed away last year, but he was a writer. He was an activist. So shout out to him. But yeah, we'll wrap it up here because I got to get up in the morning. I got some stuff to do. But I know people are going to probably tune in and watch President Obama. I may look and flip at it. But Rico, why don't you give one final shout out about your book?
Okay, cool. Well, first of all, let me say thank you so much, man. I'm glad I was able to make it this time. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, it's just my short story. It's in a PDF format. It's called The Greatest Pain Ever Felt, Conversation with an Absent Biological Father Who Never Wanted to Be Found. It's only $10. Hit me on the Cash App right there, $ Rico the Opinionist, OPINIONIST. And please include an email so I can just send it right to you. And I appreciate you, man. I've always checked you out. I see you on here a lot when you and Sean on here doing y'all thing. Yeah. So I go back and forth. So I'm certainly not unfamiliar with what you do. And I've seen you when you've had some of the guests. I said, damn, he has celebrities on here too. I'm man doing right on my Facebook page.
I've had a Jackson on here. I've had from 3T. I had Taj Jackson, Michael's nephew, come on here. I've had, Judge Joe Brown. We've had Reverend Kennard Childress. We've had a couple people come through here. Dr. Short. Get well soon, Dr. Short. And a couple of others, yeah. But I know people have been watching it because I had a friend of mine who I'll just say he was complaining that I was talking about the Democrats more than the Republicans. So,
but why not? But these are the people we vote for at 94 to 97%. There's no expectation of reciprocity from the Republicans. We don't vote Republicans, right?
And right now, the Democrat, I mean, honestly, I left the Democrats. I'm an independent.
Same here.
And I left them because I saw the stuff they support, and they're anti-family, and
Yes.
they're anti-black man.
That's right.
The stuff that they're anti-man, period.
Yeah.
The stuff
and they're anti-children. Yeah.
I mean, look at what happened when even when Trump went on to speak to those at that press conference with those black journalists at the Black Journalist Conference. They had no black man up there, no black journalists,
No men.
No black male journalists, right?
And Rollie Martin wanted to eat. I didn't know. See, it's some with the mics, but it came to find out later on. You watch videos. Rollie Martin yelling from the floor, yelling up at Trump from the floor like an idiot. How unprofessional can you be? He just, and I'm telling you, I told my friend last night, I said, if that woman does not win, you're gonna see a lot of suicides on MSNBC, CNN. These Democratic shields are gonna literally hurt themselves.
They're gonna lose their jobs. Yeah, that happened with Trump. But when remember Al Sharpton, he used to be on prime time. They put him on like early in
Sunday
the morning.
Sunday morning, 8 in the morning, right?
When he's supposed to be at church, he's on the network, which shows what? He ain't got no church.
Yeah, $480,000 a year. How you gonna be an activist? Or anyway, I'm not even gonna get to all that. Just anyway, I appreciate you, man. And whenever you need me or you like me to come on and extend the invite, I don't mind coming. Just make sure I remember like I was supposed to. A lot went on that day, but anyway, it's a whole nother show.
Most definitely. And somebody said that guy talked better than Biden.
Yeah. Who's that? What's guy we were talking about?
The guy in the wheelchair.
Oh my God! Yeah. And then Biden talked for. I'm telling you, I think he talked about an hour. I said he's gonna be done in 20 minutes, but
this is at the DNC. This is why. Yeah, she said, I can never have imagined that I'd live to see a political party resort to on-site human sacrifices to secure an election. Absolutely unbelievable. I like the whole thing. My point and why I said this was a circus is why are they doing this at a convention? I get they support reproductive rights, but at a political convention,
yes,
Gentlemen, we are witnessing in real time a Planned Parenthood bus.
I just didn't understand. That's where they lost me at.
Providing abortions to a predominantly Black community, as you can see, Black people getting on and off of this bus during this small clip. And this is from the party that says Black Lives Matter. Well, apparently Black Lives Matter until
they got a plan.
That's the mobile truck, like and that's the that's Freda Womb
at the border. Human sacrifice at the DNC.
But that's what they're gonna vote for. That's all you're gonna get.
Well, I say they're definitely gonna get what they paid for and vote for, and I wish them all the best. And one thing about it, in closing, whoever the president is, whoever the governor is, whoever the congressman is, I still have to get them to go to work and pay this highest rent.
That's exactly. That's what everybody. The government ain't gonna pay your rent. So
So be cool.
Unless you're a legal immigrant, they're gonna give you some money.
Of course, and LGBT and single mother with no father. You know who they get? Jews and Ukrainian. That's right. So I appreciate you again, man.
No problem, Rico. Thank you. And thank y'all for tuning in. If you're watching via X, YouTube, or Facebook, or Rumble, y'all know what to do. You need to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And hey, if you love me for my time, pay me for my time. Amen. My Cash App is at the bottom. YouTube has demonetized this channel. So please go ahead and do that. I hear in the back, it sounds like former President Obama is speaking to everybody to talk about Joe and Kamala. because it's better than beef. All right, yo. Be one, be safe, and be blessed. We'll be back later this week. I'll holla.